Well, tubers, two bats, and of course, crazy people. It's unfortunately that time again. We're going to interview our buddy Goldfinger, and we're going to talk about his favorite topic. I bet you can't guess what it is. All right, here it comes. All right, kids, as promised in the introduction, we're going to talk about Goldfinger's favorite subject. Goldfinger.
Stop that.
All right, buddy. I am impressed. I am over at your house right now, and we are in a special little room.
Yes.
And it's a very expensive little room from what I can see. And why don't you explain to the friendly folks here what it is and what the purpose of it is?
Well, it's the Dome of Silence.
Yes.
Okay. You walk in this room, there's no echo, and there's no outside sound.
Let me interrupt. There's an actual sign on the door that I'm not going to show this time. We're going to show it later. When it says the Dome of Silence.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry, continue.
It's okay. We are setting up, or I'm setting up for Paul and I, a podcast room, okay? And we're going to be doing podcasts in the near future. Talk about anything, all subjects, things that we've seen, things that happen in life here in the Philippines. Paul and I get together really well. When we interact about things, we can laugh about stuff that happens, which is strange to most foreigners, but is common here. And we're going to have different subjects, and I'll have people type in and ask us questions, which we can answer. It'll be on Paul's channel, and I've created this whole complete podcast room. So I moved to a house, have an extra room, and I soundproofed it, and I'm getting all electronics from Amazon, so we're going to get mixers, and booms, microphones, and all kinds of stuff, okay? I'm learning it all. It's a lot to learn.
Is the primary objective to do this, is it to help guys? I mean, this is going to definitely be different than my channel. This what I do, okay? Yeah. It's going to be more driven, I hope, by you. And then, of course, I'd like to take part of it with you and watch this thing. It's kind of like a newborn baby watching it grow. I'm very excited.
We're going to interact. But we might bring in third or fourth people because I'll have 4 microphones, 4 headsets, 4 booms. It'll be the room's set up that we can handle 4 at a time, and split the screen and show guests that we have come on that talk about different subjects from time to time. It's just a place that we can go. There's no outside noise.
Right.
Because it's always a problem with outside noise. And then people can write in, text in, if they have specific questions.
Is that going to be live? Where we can answer them live? Or is it going to be something we'd have to...
It can be live. It's not a problem with live as long as they text in, because our responses will be proper, but not all the questions may be proper. So we'll let you pick and choose which ones we're going to say, because there's always a few trolls. You know how that is.
That's okay. I like the trolls.
If you had live voice, that could be a problem.
Right.
We could do live voice.
Right.
We'll discuss that later. But I was thinking that they type in their questions versus hearing them live.
Okay.
Because we don't have anything to stop like a 5-minute delay like a studio would, okay? We're close to good studio, but we're not that accurate, that technically involved to do a 5-minute delay. So if they text in, we can at least pick and choose proper questions to answer, and ones that are related to everybody. Because a lot of people just want to say hi to Paul or hi Goldfinger, how are you doing? It's not for that, okay? It's really to get down to business and answer specific questions. I'm sure we'll have a lot more questions than we're able to answer. And it will be live. And the problem is hours. I live here, so it's easier for me to be here. Paul has to drive here. Paul has a life too. So I may do on my own podcasts at night. I figure I'll give a couple hours, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, to answer questions about the ebook that I give out free. Okay?
Right.
Also created a website, and it's right here, actually. I get the plug. Is that okay?
Absolutely, by all means. If you didn't, I think you had a fever.
Goldfingerconsulting.org. If anybody, you know I got a plug. Goldfingerconsulting.org. If you put that in on your laptop or your phone and you check the web, it'll ask you for your name, address, and then it'll give you a free ebook. Now we're going to go that way with the ebooks because I cannot constantly answer all the requests for ebooks. It's got to be too much.
How many ebooks have you?
Thousands.
And for the folks that may be seeing this for the very first time, what is in the ebook?
Everything. What isn't in the ebook? We always make a joke because people ask me questions and I'll say it's in the ebook. Okay, everything is in the ebook, just about.
But it's regarding the Philippines.
Yeah.
And it's basically driven, correct me if I'm wrong, towards someone that's new and coming in for the first time.
Yes.
And really the common questions, mistakes, confusion that all of us face.
Yeah.
You try to address that preemptively so that the guy coming in has a softer landing and knows a little bit about anything from exchanging money to how to order food in a restaurant.
Health insurance,
Okay.
travel, transportation, hotels. There's a restaurant guide now. It's coming out for the ratings of restaurants, 5, 4, and 3-star restaurant. A lot of things in there. What to do, what not to do, how to handle the visas. A lot of it is 6 months before you come here, and then there's also 6 months after. So it's 6 months before you get here and 6 months after. And after you've been here for 6 months, you're going to get the hang of everything. There's also motorcycle etiquette, how to ride, or car, transportation, who to go to, who to rent from. If you want to rent a car, it has information on that. If you want someone to drive you around with tuk-tuk, it has information like that. Hospital information, insurance information. Also traveling information, how to save money on traveling with the airlines and using like booking.com or Travelocity or Expedia, things like that, and how to compare the prices. There's certain ways you can go about it on certain days of the week, certain times of the year that it's cheaper to travel.
Now, what was your motivation to set up this whole podcast thing?
Because I was so damn lost when I got here. Not everybody's willing to take a chance, okay? Mm-hmm. And you got to get outside your comfort circle if you want to enjoy life, okay? Everybody has a comfort circle. And everything in that comfort circle is everything they know and what the experience. They know where the gas station is. They know where the 7-Eleven is. They know where the market is. They know where the bank is, all that. And the minute you go outside that and you move to another city or country, okay, that's going outside your comfort zone. And honestly, it's a lot better when you leave your comfort zone, I got to tell you. Now, I traveled to about 13 countries before I got here, okay? And I wanted to come here, but of course COVID hit and I couldn't. But when I got here, I didn't know anything other than I knew that they spoke English and they worked on the peso, and I knew the peso was different than the Mexican peso. Other than that, I didn't know anything.
Right.
I didn't know anybody other than you.
And you and I hung out in Thailand before you came over here.
Yeah, because I couldn't come in. They had quarantine.
Right.
I was waiting for the quarantine.
Right. And what a coincidence that was, really.
Yeah.
Because May and I went to Thailand for vacation. I mean, it with my friends Gary and AJ.
Yeah.
And you were there.
Yeah.
And so we got together with you.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
But I've known you a long time.
But you've known me way before we ever met in person.
Well, you both went
for
to Catholic high
years.
school.
Well, we didn't know each other in high school.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that really conversing, you've been with me like since the beginning of my channel, as far as I know.
Before the 1,000.
Yeah, before the 1,000
viewers.
subs.
Yeah, subscribers.
So and so you've always been a big participant and supporter and all that.
Yeah,
and you and I
helped
struck up
May.
a friendship online. You helped May when she was getting
She
started.
was doing the food.
Yeah.
Cooking with May.
Yeah.
And I send money to May, and she would. I send her money to keep for herself, and then half of it was to buy food and give to orphanages or people that needed food. Right. I did that for a long time.
Right.
And then I sent you a bunch of stuff that you frickin' gave away.
Oh, one more time.
One more time.
Okay, one more time.
Boxes,
One more time you say that, okay? I'm going to go round up all that crap and throw it in your front yard. Okay, I'll find out who's got
Craftsman tools, and I didn't know he doesn't even use tools. The best proto and Craftsman tools I shipped over here, and he gave it away, and he doesn't know who. Oh my God, kill him. Love you.
I gave it to a Filipino that put it to good use.
Oh, I bet he did.
And probably made himself a nice little job fixing God knows what.
A whole boat. I shipped a whole boat over. You gave that to a relative of me.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good to use, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was then, this is now.
Yeah,
so now you've gone through this thing. You just can't go anything half-ass. I mean, you've got
No.
lights. We're not going to show it now because we're going to hold a little mystery
I got rid of
behind
the
it.
wall
But
air
this is
conditioner.
like my dream studio.
Yeah.
This is like, I thought, if I ever built myself a studio, this is exactly how I would do it. You've got a nice desk. You've got 3 computers on here. You've got backlights.
Carolyn only
It
allowed
is
me to have the
totally
small room. I wanted the bigger room, and she said, "No, that's mine." So I got the small room. If it was perfect, I'd be in the next room over.
That's true.
But it would cost me more because it's bigger.
But I mean, you've got deadening material on the
Look
wall.
down. It's carpeted.
It's carpeted.
You don't see carpet.
No.
This is indoor,
No.
outdoor carpeting. Short.
Those curtains behind you are
Yeah.
blackout.
Blackout and
so there's total control of sound, total control of light. I don't know, man. I think it's just awesome. But getting back to what the hell you're going to do on it, when you get 3 or 4 guys on here, are you going to go off topic? Are you going to go off the Philippines? Are you going to go into politics? Or are you going to go into anything like, I don't know, the economy or
No.
or none of that?
None of
Okay,
that.
so what's going to be your primary focus?
Helping guys come over.
Okay.
A lot of guys are older. We're all in our 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they're scared. A lot of them are worried about, what am I going to do when I get there? I don't know anybody. Okay, I don't know anything. So it's like a before you get here, kind of a pre-informational guide. It's already at 40 some odd pages, but it has a lot of information how to meet other people and how to meet girls, and it has a lot of information about the proper girls to might meet and the wrong girls to meet and what to look for. And there's a whole lot. People come to me now. Also, Carolyn, my fiance, she rents motorbikes. It's in her name. It's her business. I usually talk to guys, but we do it a little different because the bikes you rent here are usually garbage. They're beat up, older bikes that don't run very well.
I can attest to that from when I first got here.
They're really bad. Okay, and
They're
there's
rough.
a couple companies, without saying their name, that don't care. They give you dirty helmets to wear. It's like people have lice here. Okay, you don't want somebody else's used helmet. Okay, and the bikes are not well taken care of. They don't understand to change oil or check the belt or do a tune-up on even the spark plug or anything, or change the gear oil or things like that. So I said, okay, I'm going to buy brand new bikes. I'm going to put a top box, which is like a trunk on a motor scooter, and a good phone holder, not a junk one. I mean, it's a 6-prong phone holder that adjusts every which way, and even has vibration on it. And I'm going to do it right. I only bought brand new bikes for Carolyn. Had her buy brand new ones, and they're all gone through everything. I mean, I write down the kilometers, make sure they get oil changes, check the belts, check the air in the tires before they go out. Things that these other guys don't do. And you end up with, if the tire's looking a little worn, replace the tires, okay? They're a little bit upgraded. I don't charge a whole lot more, but the bike's a whole lot better.
And what you've really done is set her up for a
business.
future.
In business.
Because you know what? You and me are going to be planting daisies way before our women are.
Well, that was
and
the
how
thing.
she's going to have an up and running business. You will teach her how to do it the proper way.
Yeah.
She's a very smart woman, by the way.
Yeah, she does the contracts.
She's
when I'm not around, she's rented bikes herself, so she knows.
and she's a fabulous artist.
She's a great artist too.
Yeah. She has
So
got
here's
a
the thing.
beautiful
So
portrait of May for me.
I had to move out of my apartment because I needed a
Oh,
place.
let's talk about that.
Oh.
No.
We'll talk about that in the future, about why I had to move
When
out
we,
of the apartment. But I'll give you.
we'll
I'll
talk
give you-
about that when we have like 7 attorneys on staff.
Yeah, it was a problem. But let's just say I moved to a place that has a lot of space in the front, and we're currently putting in pavers, so I have places to park more vehicles. It had some grass. I took the grass out and put in pavers, and it has a nice house. And when it all got said and done, it actually turned out to be not more money than what I was paying for rent.
And how long is your lease for on this place?
15-year lease. So here's the thing.
Put that in your ebook.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from the podcast. We're gonna go to the house, okay? So we're gonna do a picture of the house too as soon as it's all done. We'll do the podcast of the house in the next 2 weeks. So the house didn't show well. It showed very poorly. She had 9 dogs here, the owner, tied up. 2 in the house and 7 more tied up outside, all barking, yapping, all mangy, all dirty. We're looking at this. I'm bringing my little Einstein over, and I'm looking at fleas and ticks galore. Okay, this dog, Einstein's a house dog. Einstein, he won't make it on the outside one day.
And Einstein, just for the record, is my dog's brother.
Yeah. It's a sweetheart. It's a what is it? A Shih Tzu.
Yeah,
A Shih Tzu.
sweetest dog on the
Sweetest
planet.
dog, but it won't make it out of the outside. It's not a street dog, okay? This dog is pampered. He gets bathed and brushed and perfume, and he has no idea what life
So
is
what
like.
was your motivation? You saw potential, I'm assuming.
I saw potential.
You saw
I said,
potential.
this
It
has
had
a huge
this,
front.
it has
a
that.
garage. It's a big house, and it has another maid's quarters kitchen
In the back.
under the kitchen in the back.
Yeah.
And I go, I could put a worker in there. He could take care of the bikes because it's going to be a bit much for me. It's going to be a bit much already.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, I know what they want. They want money. They kept pushing. They wanted money, and I had a feeling they were hurting for money, and they were. They were behind on their bills. Okay, but I didn't know that exactly at the time, but I found out later. They weren't paying their electric bill. They were 6 months behind. They weren't paying their sewer bill. They weren't paying their water bill. Okay, bills were behind. Okay, so when I moved in and I get bills that are for several months old and the power's going to get cut off, okay, I had to take that off of what I was going to pay them. So I made a deal with them that I get 30 days to fix the place up. Okay, no rent. They wanted $40,000 a month, and they wanted first, last, and security 120,000 pesos. I don't know what that is in dollars anymore, but maybe you could figure that out. But
A little over $1,000.
yeah, 1,000.
Wait, 100,000?
120,000.
What is that?
Math was taking too much
$2,000? Something like that.
So anyway, I came in and I just said to him, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 35,000 first, last, and security, but there's certain things I'm going to want. So that's 30,000 pesos. What? That's 2,000.
Yeah,
It's
you're
over
grand.
2,000. I can't believe it. So I said to him, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 35,000 first, last, security. Okay, so it was over 100,000. Was that 3, 6, 9, 100, 5,000? I'll give you 105,000. But there's certain things I want because I'm going to have to spend a lot of money to fix the place up. It needed paint. It needed cleaning, a lot of cleaning. It needed fixtures, okay? They didn't have any furniture in the place, none. They were taking the refrigerator and the stove and everything with them. I said, okay, so I need 30 days to fix it up and to shop for furniture and everything else. And they agreed to it. And I'll give you 35,000 first, last, and security, but I want a 15-year lease. Now, Filipinos think for the day. This is, if you ask any Filipino, if they think for the tomorrow or they think for next year or anything else, they don't do that. Filipinos think for the day, okay? And so all they heard was 105,000. Okay, and I didn't say 35,000 first, last, and security. I said 105,000.
Right.
That's what they hear.
Right.
Okay, the number 105,000. When I said I'll give you 35,000 right now, okay, and 70,000 more when on November 20th when I move in. So this deal was made. Actually, it was December 20th. No, deal was made November 20th. I'll give you 35,000 right now, and we move in on December 20th. I don't want 30 days, and you have to get all the dogs and everything out. Okay, you got 1 week to do it. And I said I also want sublease rights because I had a feeling that if something happens to me, Carolyn won't stay here. Okay, and life's a chess game. Okay, it is. So I said, well, you know what? If I fix this place up and I spend a lot of money fixing it up and I put in a water system, I put in split air conditioners, I spend a lot of money. I said she could rent it out for 50 or 60,000, and she pays 35. Besides that, she has a motorcycle business. She already has 18 vehicles that she's renting right now. She's generating 125,000 a month in pesos. Okay, she could live here on 125. I'm not done helping her build it up. We're going to build it up to a total of 40 vehicles. So she'll be generating 250,000 pesos. She could sell it as a running business and the location. We license the location here. Okay.
Everything's above board. Everything's legal.
At that point, I said
registered
we have to
BIR.
we had to
Businesses.
We had to go right up to the mayor to get this. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got the place licensed to run a business. I had it in the lease that I could run a business. I have a 15-year lease, okay, that I could run the business. And they knew also I put in there I'm going to be doing podcasts. I had planned on doing podcasts, and you and I had talked about it. We know, I know you had problems. I says, if I get this place, I'll have a spare room. We could do that. And so I feel very comfortable about spending a lot of money on the place because I figured no matter what, Carolyn may end up with it, but she can make money on it.
Yeah.
And then it occurred to me later, not up front, but occurred to me later, and I know this is getting a little long, but that I spent a lot of money on this place. I hate to say it. So should I say?
Yeah.
700,000.
Okay, how much is that in dollars?
A lot. I'll figure it out. But meanwhile, 700,000 divided by 58. $12,000.
So you spent $12,000 fixing up somebody else's house.
Somebody else's property.
But you've got it for 15 years. And I'm going to go over, and I don't like to do assumptions, but I'm going to assume that you're going to eventually buy them out and own this place.
Exactly.
And that's going to be the thing.
Because who else is going to want to buy it? The rent here is obviously going to go up in general.
Right.
Even if I did fix it up, the rent would goes up.
Right.
We're near Bakong and Darwin, which is a better area. It's quiet here. It's just off of National Highway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not only do we have signs up for advertising from the street all the way up, and I got permission for the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A couple businesses allowed me to put big signs up and advertise it, and I got permission from that. But not only that, and it's licensed. Who's going to rent a house when they have a lease for $35,000 and they have to honor it?
Yeah.
When they could probably get 50, 60, or 70.
Right.
Okay. The only one person that's interested in buying it.
Right.
Me.
Right.
So 10 years, 5 years, 10 years down
And
the road.
you take that money that you just said you spent. What was it? How many thousands was it?
12,000.
$12,000. Okay. But you amortize that over the next 15 years.
It's not that lot.
It's not that much, is it?
900.
I mean, it's one thing if you're moving in for a year.
Yeah.
And I've seen guys do this. I think there's a little, well, anyway, it doesn't matter what I think. But I see guys move in, sign a 1-year lease, and put in 2 new air conditioners, and then they have to walk away from it.
Yeah.
Or they don't like it after 3 months, which I'm sure you
I
cover
bought
in
the
your,
best air
and
conditioners,
out they
more
go.
silent.
And
Our electric bill dropped.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, which was less than half the size of this place. This place is 3 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, dirty kitchen, huge property, and our electric bill dropped from 10 to 12,000 to 5 to 7,000 because I got everything high efficiency. The refrigerator, the air conditioners, everything I bought electronic. I thought long term. Okay.
so let me ask you this, and we'll wrap it up because we're coming over 20 minutes.
Okay.
What's your long-term goal for the podcast? What if I can't get here every week? I told you this when I first walked in and when I first talked to you. I want this to be Goldfinger's podcast and not necessarily always on my channel.
But I like working with you.
I like working with you. It doesn't mean I can't come on and be on your channel. So you have a YouTube channel. I think we should ask the boys and girls.
I actually don't have a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube account.
Yeah.
I've never activated the channel.
It's the same thing I had back in the States
But
when
I
I
do
came
plan
out
on
of here.
answering people's questions. But I don't plan on.
See, here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
looking
If
at-
you
I'm not
want to
looking
do
at
a
it for money
weekly,
thing.
here's the dealio. If you want to do a weekly podcast, I can't have you on my channel every week. You know what I mean, Vern?
Yeah, but I could do it. Well, it's Goldfinger Consulting. I'll probably do Goldfinger Consulting podcast. And
Okay.
and I'll answer people's questions.
Okay.
But it
And
could
I
be
think
other
it would be
subjects.
awesome if you could get other people in here doing, stupid pet tricks or something like that. And you want to talk about gold and silver because that's your expertise.
precious metals and
You know
gems.
precious metals. You can tell stories. You can have different guys in with different levels of expertise on
want us
different
to do
things. Huh?
Us.
Okay. You've got a real
When we
thing.
talk about other things,
Yeah.
it's going to be us.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because usually, see, this is a very serious kind of matter-of-fact video.
But I'm not doing it for
And-
any kind of income. I'm just
No,
doing
no,
it to
no,
help
no.
guys get over here.
Yeah.
Or help
yeah.
guys invest in precious. I'm not looking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
There's no membership at this
You know what I
point.
might do
You know?
is I might just make this a separate playlist.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. That way we could do it weekly. but it wouldn't be imposing on people that don't, they don't want to see, the same person week in and week out. It gets mundane, it gets old. But there's so much fun that you and I usually have.
Yeah,
Now this isn't one of our fun little videos where we're sitting here breaking each other's balls for a half hour.
Yeah, I used to have a radio show. It was called the Goldfinger Minute.
Uh-huh.
And the Goldfinger Minute was a radio show in Las Vegas, and it talked about investing in precious metals and gems.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly precious metals, because gems is not the greatest investment. It's way too long term.
Well, I think that's very, very good because, a lot of financial channels do very, very well, especially if they're done well, and especially with someone like you who spent his life. I mean, you went to the highest level of education. Is that correct, that your father put you through?
No, hell no.
Oh.
I went to Gemological Institute. I went to a specific school. I didn't go, I'm not a doctorate or anything.
No, but I mean, when it comes to...
Gemological Institute of America and graduated. And I also went there to study how to make jewelry, how to identify jewelry, and why is it almost time to restart? I don't know why. So I have a lot of knowledge. I had a gold refinery, which we did precious metals, gold, silver, and platinum. We had some side metals. We'd get nickel, copper, and other things, and because that's what's mixed in with gold and things like that. And I did that for 45 years. I had a gold refinery for 45 years. I also had jewelry stores. I had 3 or 4 jewelry stores for over 25 years.
Well,
So,
to me, that makes you an expert. That is somebody that I would listen to. That's someone that's got street cred. You've got education, which you don't want to call it, but you went to the gemology. Am I correct?
yeah.
So you understood the difference between this,
I
and
did
this.
take some college.
And your father was in the business.
Yeah.
So
My
there's
father's
hands.
father was in the business.
Wow.
I grew up in it.
Wow.
I
Wow.
grew up in it. I do it from when I was a kid. I used to work. I learned how to do watchmaking from my great-grandfather.
So this is going to be a real learning curve for both of us. We're going to be doing this podcast. We've got total silence. We've got light control. You've got all these programs you don't understand and I don't understand as far as editing and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be cool once we get it figured out and we get someone here with split screens and we could have 4 of us on there like 4 talking heads and we can get into a big argument. All right, buddy.
I got to figure out the mixer. I mean, that's a whole other thing with special effects and all this is coming. Oh, my God.
All right, we're going to cut it there. All right. So
all right.
Thanks for having me
We're
over.
We're going to have this podcast soon, guys. Give us about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And you'll announce it.
All right. Okay. Anything else? Any other words of wisdom?
No, that'll come later.
Okay. See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.